I decided to try passage meditation for the past 30 days, and I'm here to tell you what happened. Hi, welcome to Gently Being. For the past 30 days, I have been following the passage meditation practice that was developed by Eknath Easwaran. This practice is rooted in similar practices in many different spiritual and religious traditions. You're really focusing in on using a sacred or wisdom text and then allowing that text to be what your awareness rests on during your meditation. The basics of the practice are fairly simple. You first want to begin by picking a text or an excerpt from a wisdom text or sacred text, something that really speaks to you, something that maybe speaks of love or generating calm, generating stillness, compassion. You can pick a whole text, you can think of a prayer or meditation text, or even just an excerpt of a text because you don't necessarily want to have it be too long. Once you've selected your excerpt or your full text, you then want to set aside half an hour every day to practice passage meditation. You begin by memorizing the text, and then as you go forward each day, you want to silently recite the text to yourself slowly. Allow yourself to linger on the words. You don't want to rush through the recitation of the text. Once your 30 minutes are done, you may want to give yourself just a brief moment of quiet and then move on with your day. For my 30 days, I decided to choose the St. Francis of Assisi prayer because I already had a familiarity with it. I actually have a video guided contemplative meditation that uses that prayer, and I'll link to it below if you'd like to hear it. And you may be familiar with the prayer. It's the one that begins with, "Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love," and goes on from there. I decided to pick this prayer because, as I said, I had a familiarity with it, but also because I've always found it to be a really beautiful prayer and one that really brings in hope, and also one that's asking for, some help in turning away from focusing in on ourselves too much and helping us to share more love, show more compassion, show more understanding. And I thought it would be some really beautiful words to rest my awareness on. For the practice, I mostly did it in this room, and I would come in and I would open my desk and take out a notebook that I wrote the prayer in, and I'd always just have that in front of me. And this was because if I sort of found my mind wandering and lost my place, I could just quickly look at it to bring myself back to the text. Or if I, one morning found myself forgetting some of the words, again, I just had that there to help me when it was needed. I also found it beneficial to begin with the writing out of the prayer because I really found that aided me in my memorization. And then I would just give myself the 30 minutes to slowly recite the prayer in my mind, allowing myself to really stay with the words as I was slowly saying them. When I found my mind wandering, I found it very useful to actually, just notice that and then gently bring my awareness back to the prayer and to either continue to slowly recite the prayer, or sometimes I would just start from the top again. When you're doing passage meditation, you don't necessarily have to just stick with one text for the whole 30 minutes. You may want to use one text and slowly recite it to yourself, and then have another one that you've memorized and slowly say that to yourself. But for this 30 days, I decided that I really just wanted to focus in on one text so that I could really have it memorized and see what sort of impact it had on my life by always saying this one text every day. So, what do I think happened after the 30 days? Well, the first thing I noticed is that it really did help me with my concentration. With this meditation, again, because you're bringing your concentration to the words that you're saying, it really does help you focus in on it. The other thing that I noticed is that outside of the 30 minutes that I dedicated to passage meditation, I would be silently saying the prayer to myself. I found this especially happening when I would go for walks. I just suddenly would sort of be saying the prayer, or if I just had some down moments and was waiting for something, the prayer, I would just slowly be going through it. And I found this to be a really nice side effect of having the passage meditation, that this prayer was always with me and that I could turn to at any time. When I had to go to the hospital to get some stitches, I did end up having an anxiety episode while I was in the hospital. And once I was able to, just get a little bit more of a handle on the anxiety that I was having and bring myself down a little bit with my breath, when the stitches were going in, I did slowly start to say the prayer, and it gave me something again to focus on, to bring my concentration to, and it definitely helped again to just bring down the anxiety that I was having at that time. And lastly, I found that I really was thinking about what the prayer was saying outside of my passage meditation time. One of the things that this prayer says is that you want to be able to give pardon when there's been injury, when someone's, offended you or hurt you, and this is one of the things I would think about sometimes when maybe someone did something that I found sort of annoying, or I maybe wanted to hold a grudge towards. I would reflect on this prayer and think about how can I be giving forgiveness in these situations. And also the line about giving hope when there's despair. How can I truly embody this hope and not have this just be words? And how do I share this hope? How do I share this love? And I really do think that the more you're sitting with the words outside of that time of the passage meditation, you'll find yourself reflecting upon them and then thinking about how you can really manifest the things that you are saying, so they're not just things you're silently saying in your mind, but things you're trying to live as well. I would recommend the passage meditation for anyone who found that maybe the breath meditation wasn't really working for them, because when your mind is maybe just really overrun with thoughts, it can be really hard to rest the awareness back on just the breath. And I found that passage meditation was actually more rooting for me, because you had this concrete thing you went back to, these words. And not that your breath isn't something that is concrete and always with you, but sometimes when your mind's really racing or you're really going through something that's difficult, having these words to help you and to guide you can be extremely beneficial. I know that for myself, I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and do passage meditation for 30 more days, and I'm going to add another text. I haven't picked it out yet, but I'm going to do that hopefully today, and then in 30 days I'll be able to come back and share what I've been able to notice after doing 60 days of passage meditation. It's important to remember with a lot of these types of articles or videos that put a time frame on a practice, that 30 days isn't very long, and you're just sort of getting accustomed to the practice itself. And as you continue to do it, you might continue to notice changes and continue to notice growth through the practice. So I've decided that I'm definitely going to be doing it for 30 more days, and I'll share with you my reflections upon it in 30 more days to come. Thanks so much for watching Gently Being. I hope you have a lovely day ahead of you. Thanks again.